Alright guys, so I dug out the gasket set, and I know for a fact I pulled a lot of gaskets out of this when I was originally working on the 450 project. So, what I have left here is the bearing enclosure plate gasket. I have both valve cover gaskets, the breaker box gasket, which I'll be changing since I'm going to put the yellow one on there. I have this is a oil seal. It doesn't say which one it is. I have to look and see whether it's timing cover or bearing enclosure plate cover. I just said it, couldn't remember it. Fuel pump gasket, which I'm gonna need, and I'm gonna show you guys this. I hate mice, guys. I have killed so many mice out of this shop, and they still seem like they're around. I didn't have any trouble up until this year. And then this year, all of a sudden, I've had a bunch of trouble with mice everywhere and everything. I don't know if you guys can see, they chewed stuff there, and I don't know. I've caught a bunch of them, though. So the problem is getting better, not worse. I still have... I don't know what that gasket's for. I'll tell you. Not intake gaskets, they're weird gaskets, whatever they are. Yeah. And I have one brand new head gasket left, but I don't really like these fiber gaskets because they're not reusable. Because actually, the 450 and this last motor I tore apart had them fiber gaskets on, and what they do, as soon as they get hot, they anneal and bond, and you can't take them off without ruining them. So I have a set of steel ones somewhere. I don't know what I did with them. Did I throw them with the other motor? I don't know. But I have a set of actual metal ones floating around here, and I'm gonna use those. Yeah, they're right. You guys can't see them, but there's one there, and the other one's on the other cylinder head there. So I'm gonna use those. Put on all the gaskets I have. I'm thinking lining up these timing gears won't be too bad. I was playing with this off camera. What I found is the back side of the gear has this bevel on, so you can actually start it into the keyway, and then pretty much what I was doing is, I don't know if you guys, let's see, will light help you guys or will it make it worse? There you go, you guys can see, but see the dot there, they actually look like O's. They stamped O's, but what I was doing is lining up the gear tooth with the one back there, so I should be able just to slide it on in place there, and it'll actually, when you put it on, the cam's gonna spin over that much. It doesn't look like it's lined up, but it is. That's the way the teeth are. You guys can see that there. So I'm gonna scrape the gasket off for the bearing enclosure plate on the block and on the one I'm gonna use, which is laying over there. And what I'll do is I'll put that in, and then that'll keep the crank from pushing that way. I'll heat the gear up, and then I'll take a pair of channel locks and I'll just sit it on here. I'll leave the crank where it's at, and won't screw with it. That way I can just push it on. If I have to tap it with a hammer a little bit, I will. I guess if things get real bad, I always find a piece of pipe or something to go over this, and spacers and whatever you need, and just take the crank bolt and just keep pushing it down on, adding spacers. So, alright, I'm going to get that done. It's probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon at this point. Yeah, 3:48, not a bad guess. I didn't start working on this motor until after lunch today, really, so not bad. But, get her put back together as much as I can until I get a hone, because I can't put the oil pan on or nothing. So I want to at least run a hone down through here, break the glaze, and then I gotta clean out any of the filings and stuff, so I don't want to get too awful far along, and pretty much we'll go from there. So see you guys when I see you guys back. I might take some video putting this motor together, maybe I'll 2 times some of it, or double time it, or do kind of like a time lapse of putting it together, and just see what happens. So here we go. Apologize I didn't show a video of that, guys. I should have had the camera rolling while I was doing that, but basically I heated the gear up on the ground and with the torch, and I took my long curved needle nose pliers, whatever the heck I did with them. I was in a hurry when I grabbed for my hammer. Where did I lay them? You guys see them? I don't see them. This is the kind of stuff that's irritating because I didn't go anywhere. Anyhow, since I have no idea what I did with that, but regardless, here somewhere. Oh, here we go. I took these and set it up on the gear and got everything, got the keyway started and got the dots lined up for sure. And I took the hammer and just tapped it down on there. So as of right now, the only thing that needs to happen, and before I put this on here, the reason I didn't put it on yet is the oil pump has to be on there first. Otherwise you can't get the oil pump on with this on. So, but I'm pretty sure, I guess I can check it. Problem is I gotta watch this gears hot. So pretty sure it looks like the key, or yeah, the keyway. The snap ring will go down in there, so it looked good there. So step 1 of reassembly is complete. Well, I guess 2, even 3. I got the gasket cleaned off. I got the bearing enclosure put back on, and you can see the new gasket in there. So we're good to go there. Yeah, pretty much now I'm kind of at a standstill. I mean, I can do other things, but kind of at a standstill until I hone the cylinders. I'm debating about sticking it on the tractor now while it's not too heavy. And most of you guys will know why. Just because these CCKAs are fairly heavy engines, all cast iron and stuff. If I stick it back on the tractor now while it's pretty light, it won't be too bad. Problem there is if I have to take it back apart or something, then that adds taking it off the tractor. And it's a lot easier to mess with the points and stuff right now, so I'll probably handle that sort of stuff off camera, and once I move on to the next step, I'll try and record it. Because while the intake's off, I'll adjust the valves and stuff and put the new valve cover gaskets on, because now is the time. And we'll go from there, guys. So probably gonna be it for today for me. So later. Thought some of you guys might enjoy this. I use obviously I got the hone and hone the cylinders. I apparently never picked up the camera. But anyhow, I use the hose clamp and a lot of oil method. Wonder if it hit on a crank. Hoping not, but doesn't really look like it. Nowhere near the crank as much as I can tell. Oh, I see the problem. Ring slipped out. That side's in, that side's not. Well, that figures. Alright, I'm gonna need 2 hands to figure this out. I'll sit you guys up here if you guys can see, great. If not, oh well. Real lubrication on. Now I'm just going to see which way the rod bearing is. It's this one. Believe it or not, the one I did on camera actually went better than the one that I didn't do on camera. The other one fought me. And that one went right in, which is kind of weird. The other side's a little bit stiffer too. I wonder if I didn't put enough oil on it. The extension I had. I know you guys did. There's a wobble. I can get on here and tighten this bolt before I go. Turning the crank too much. I don't know what you guys are staring at there, but if I can do this one-handed. This motor is kind of tough to turn, but it does turn. It turns. You guys have to trust me. It takes two hands, but it seems like it works. I could flip the block the other way and prime the oil system up and just see what it does. So I might do that. Here we go. Okay, something I just learned about is the difference between an 816 and a 450 block is the cooling fins need ground down to get the 400 series adapter plate on. And if we go over here, oh, nope, wrong one. Wrong side. Right here. I still wonder if this 450 was not made into a 450. I'm really starting to wonder, guys. I really am. But anyhow, got through that. The only other thing I think I'm going to do, well, two things here. With the motor off of the tractor, because basically I'm trying to put it on there without making it too heavy. I changed this seal and put this plate back on here, and I'll bolt it back up to the transmission once the gear is on. And I'm going to change the points cover box, or yeah, points cover box. Yeah, the points box while it's off the tractor. I gotta figure out what holds that on. Is there two screws inside? Kind of what I'm assuming. I'll have to look at that. This is a bit like Pandora's spark box once it's on the tractor, because you have to stand on your head and you have to look at it like so. So now is the time to get in here and do something, not once it's on the tractor. So let me get that done. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. The having to grind the cylinder fins really slowed me up there. So, okay, gonna keep moving. Alright, for those that are curious, I do actually read the manual sometimes, believe it or not, because I can't remember everything. So, the points gap for a CCKA is 20 thousandths. The intake clearance is, oh, I wrote it down because I figured I'd forget. I think it's 5 to 8, sound right? 6 to 8, I'm sorry. I have it wrote down if you guys can interpret my handwriting, and 15 to 17 thousandths on the exhaust valves. So I'm going to stick the points cover back on. I already have that set. And I'm going to take the valve covers off and check those, and I'll reseal them. If the other, reseal them, yeah. Put a new valve cover gasket on them. And I'll look at the other valve covers and see if they're yellower on the other motor, and then I'll change that. And we'll go from there. I was going to try and change the breather assembly, but apparently those don't screw out of there, or I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. Never had one out. I tried. They spin, but they don't screw out. So, here we go. Like I said, just getting enough stuff done. I can stick it on the tractor, and then I can do stuff like put the oil pump on and have that hanging out the bottom, and then I can put the oil pan on, put the cylinder heads on, cylinder heads on. Then basically the intake and hooking up the linkage, and then we're pretty much, I'll fill it with oil, and then we're ready to crank her up. So I got a new oil filter on it already. So we're good to go there, because I was priming the oil system and it was running out over there. I was just priming it up with my little squirt can. So okay, and got this gear on. I think I said that. I got the seal in. I left the seal out a little bit to try and stay out of the worn spot in the crank a little bit better. So we'll see if that works, or see if it hurts or helps me. I don't know which. Here I go. Okay, figured out the breather. They're press fit in the block, basically. I just took a hammer on the lower lip with a screwdriver and tapped them up out. And they came up out pretty easy, I'm not going to lie. They didn't really fight. So that wasn't too bad. I don't know how putting one back in is going to be here, but... So you could, in reality... trying to knock this dirt out without getting it. Well, in theory it wouldn't stay in the oil pan, because guess what? No oil pan on the motor yet. Still don't want it down in there though. So with the probably about like that. Just take a hammer and fuel line's kind of getting in the road, but you guys get the general idea. They come up out of there fairly easy once you figure out how it works. All it takes is figuring out how it works. And my heater's kicking on already. Jesus. It is fairly cold out. So, like I said, I'm just trying to get this motor put together, get it on the tractor, and finish the rest of it tomorrow morning perhaps. So, see how it goes. Alright guys, here we go. Got wrenches laying there, 4 bolts. The only problem is going to be I'm not going to be able to turn the crank when I go to put this on, so it's going to have to open myself. Alright. I got the flywheel sitting close by. I can always turn it if I have to. bolt's tight, but at least it won't fall on my feet anymore. Before I get too far, I ought to start the bottom too. The main reason I did this was I wanted to leave the oil pan off, but it's time to put the oil pump back on and everything. Because the oil pan in that starter, I bet you, is every bit of 30 pounds, you know? When I was looking up the spec sheet on this motor on a Case Ingersoll with the manual I was looking at weighs about 148 pounds put together. So, without the crank gear, the adapter plate, the motor weighs 150 pounds. So I bet you the way this thing sits, it's every bit of 152, 155 pounds. That adapter plate is a fair chunk of iron. I'm a little careful on too much. Oh, that was about out of fuel maybe. So, you guys can see I got it mounted up. And hopefully next time you guys see this, it'll be a basically put together motor and we'll be trying to fire it up. So I'll bring you guys back as we go along or in steps, because I think what I want to do, I want to put it the whole way together and I'll leave the side tins off and start it once and just see if make sure the motor will run. I thought about trying to get it to run before I put it on there, but the motor is just too, I don't feel like dealing with it. My back doesn't want to deal with it. So. Okay, be back later, guys.